Colby Covington recently appeared on the Submission Radio, where Islam Makhachev was brought up. Colby compared American wrestling to Dagestani wrestling and said that Islam knows he'd smack the shit out of him. Here's a full clip.
All these other guys, they all talk a big game, but, they're not walking the walk. So, when they get up here, it's a different set of lighting. So they can all talk this big bark, but they're not walking the talk. So, I'm setting up big business. Leon's first, and then, it needs to be American wrestling versus Dagestani wrestling. Everybody wants to see that fight. Makhachev's starting to run his mouth, but we know, guys, that his manager, Abdelaziz, is not going to let him get in my crosshairs. He can say whatever he wants to the media, but he doesn't really mean it. Makhachev knows I'd smack the shit out of him. He wouldn't be able to mess with raw American steel. He's nothing more than a sheep herder.
Dude, I was going to ask, he actually said a lot of nice things about you recently. He said that he was rooting for you. He is rooting for you against Leon, and he thinks that you and him would be a great fight, man. Did you see the nice words?
I think it'd be the biggest and best spectacle the UFC could put on. And that's what we want to do, the biggest and best fights. The guy definitely walks around at more weight than I do. I just choose to fight closer to my natural weight. I don't want to cut all that weight to get the advantage. So, I'd like to see him come up and test himself. Him and the Dagestani has been talking a big game. Him and Khabib for years, they were going to come up, test themselves, go to a different weight class. Those are big guys cutting a lot of weight, getting that big cutting weight advantage and trying to be the stronger guy on fight night and lightweight and just overpower these guys. But come fight at your natural weight. Come, let's test yourself. He's talking a game like everybody. He wants to be number one pound for pound. This is how you prove that. Come up here. Let's see if you're pound for pound number one by fighting a guy at your natural weight.
I think the interesting thing about the comments that Casper mentioned is, he said that he was rooting for you because he also believes you'll actually fight him if you become the champion, unlike Leon Edwards, where he wasn't sure whether or not that fight was as likely to happen. What's your perspective of him actually backing you here and actually hoping that you win so this fight could come together?
He's just saying that to get a headline. He ain't really going to come out here and fight. I think, he's another guy that he's going to run his mouth, try and hype up a fight, but he's never going to actually step up and do it. Khabib did the same thing. So they know that, American wrestling is the best. That Sambo shit don't work. He would get worked like any day of the week in grappling or wrestling in America. He's over there, playing with sheep, doing his thing over there, but that stuff doesn't work, and yeah, it's worked on guys in the lightweight class when you can just muscle them around. These are little kids, these are little boys, and none of them wrestled anyway. So now you got a real fucking American wrestler, raw American steel, the highest regard. He knows what would happen. He could keep saying that he wants to fight, but I think when pen comes to paper, his manager's going to hide him from me. Abdelaziz knows what's up. He's going to hide Makhachev all he can from me.
I'd love to see the fight, man. And even like Islam said, like American wrestling versus Dagestani wrestling, it's intriguing. You know what I mean? If that was one of the first title defenses or big title fights that were to happen after 296, it'd be phenomenal.
That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get notified for all future videos. Thanks for watching.